Alright, welcome to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, and we're continuing our run to the book quest, but I just want to do a really quick aside. If you don't know, and for some reason I'm the only source of your Lord of the Rings Online information, they have introduced these UI rescaling in the latest update. It just came out of the blue. I was kind of hoping it was coming soon. I had no idea. And this is a godsend for players of Lord of the Rings Online that have monitors above 1080p, which in this day and age, I would say 1440 is probably a sweet spot. I run a 4K. This is amazing. I'm so grateful that this has finally been implemented. Is it a little blurry? You can see in the chat. Yeah, maybe. But, you know, I can now not have to adjust the font size for this. I can now look in my bags and see the actual icons. I can go to my character sheet and I can actually read what's going on. So, yeah, thanks to the developers for getting this implemented. This is such a great addition, and it makes my gameplay so much better. So, appreciate it. Now, having said that, I'll do a real quick look. You go into options, you can go into UI settings, and you can just do a global scale. I have mine set to 1.75. And then if you wanted to, you could then, you know, individually control. So like my chat, you know, maybe I don't need the text that big, so I back it down a little. I, you know, make it maybe a little taller or something, but you can see I never look at the chat, so, you know, make the text a little smaller and just get out of the way. So there we go. Otherwise, yeah, everything is pretty readable. Maybe it's a little, you know, it's a little pixelated, blurry. I don't know what the right word is, but it's not like they sort of redid it to make it like all 4K compatible, super crisp. If you go to the map, you now see that, you know, it's not stretched because all the maps were originally designed, I guess, in a 4:3 ratio. But now they've added a little border, which is great for me because I often am like, where do I put my, you know, quest log? So now I don't have to worry about that. I can just leave that as is in a corner. And I can actually see the whole map. And I don't know if it's going to make it more readable in a sense because it makes everything smaller, but I wonder if there's a way to bump up the map resolution. Well, scale, it's not going to make a resolution. That's the trick, right? So let's see what happens if we bump that up by 25% and we go back to the map. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you can see like the upper Lebanese is a little blurry. But yeah, maybe that made it a little better, so we'll go with that. Yeah, and I, you know, no regrets about going with 4K, but having this UI scale implemented officially into the software is an absolute godsend. So, having said that, we were working on book 3. We got about halfway through, maybe a little less than halfway, I don't actually remember. And, yeah, we were sort of, exploring this dock town. There was like some family drama going on here. Is this the one where they had traders, or is it a different one? It might be a different one. Might be losing thread of which one had the trader and which one. Maybe the traders were actually in Pelargir. That was the family that had the brother that betrayed. And here I think they were having level 106 Guardian. Very nice. Hopefully another. I hope this brings players back in. That's my big hope. You know, it seems like a dumb thing to worry about, but like it actually matters. It's just a quality of life thing that, you know, if there's that little bit of friction to get in the way of playing the game, there's always other games to play. So I really hope this you know, helps the game just sort of, you know, game's going to be 20 years old in next year. It's 19 years old right now. So anything they can do to keep the heartbeat strong in this one, I am all for. But yeah, we're working on book 3 of volume 4. And yeah, we're just going to keep questing a little bit. I don't know if this is part of what we're doing. Guess we're level 90s now. What is it? What do you get for this? Treasures of Eastern Gondor. Okay. I guess that's the thing. I feel like I've been finding those all over the place. So maybe that's one of those things you can just... gives you a reason to go back. Oh, shit. I'm gonna drop my audio there. Sorry, I might have been peaking audio. And I actually don't know why. I mean, I guess I should have had a little bit of a buffer, but yeah, hopefully, apologies for there. I just put a mark. Peaking audio. I'll make sure I try and bring that down. Man, look at this. You can just read it all. like it's not a big deal. Yeah, now I'm looking at my levels. Okay, for some reason my voice seems lower. I mean, I can boost that in post, so to speak, but my OBS mic is coming in a little low. Okay, that's a little bit better. So yeah, I'll have to adjust that as well. Yeah, I don't know why these things were different, but that's okay. I've been doing a lot of OBS in the, testing, figuring things out, stuff like that. And, are there better workflows? Is there better stuff like that? And I gotta say, I was messing around with recording my face and as like its own stream, by, doing a bunch of different tricks and watching my, my OBS warnings stack up like, hey, dude, you don't have the horsepower to do this. And that was a bit disconcerting. I knew there's a cost to going to 4K. I'm sure if I were doing 1440 still, that'd be okay, but I really want this to be a 4K channel. Nobody else cares, but I do. So I'm gonna stick with that. And, but some of this testing, made me start to realize, like, and this is why you have dual PC setups. All right, here's the question. Do you think I'm gonna let my, well, I can start this. If I draw more than one, I'll just do some restorative shield work. Nope, not that guy, that guy. Ooh, there we go. And stay ahead of it. Nope, I might not be able to get that going. Okay. Cut it really close. Do I need to take this guy? I do. Okay. He's a signature, so let's see how this goes. Get everything up and running to heal a bit. And then, see what we can do. Getting some lag, but you know, that's okay. Found a missive and now should examine it. Let's take a look. The hour has come for our greatest triumph. The city of stars has fallen and our advance awaits only on the darkness of dawn. Our force is vast and grows greater by the day. If you seek the spoils of victory in the favor of the Great Eye, you will travel at once to Osgiliath and rally with the Morgul host. That's not good. The men of Gondar have lost all but the armor they bear, and so thin has it worn that none may stand in the path of our hosts and live. Wasn't looking to fight a second signature. So I'm curious now, when do the other woodworkers respawn, and how much of a dog pile is this going to turn into? What's nice about the UI is just it's one less thing to think about, right? It's one less thing that I'm not trying to work around or understand. Like, okay, like, you know, just know that when I engage with this, I'm going to have to either squint or someday I'm not going to be able to do it at all because my eyesight has turned to garbage. So it's nice to sort of have that solved and out of the way. So the other two rafts did not have woodworkers. Now, I don't know if that's just because somebody else cleared them out or because those rafts were done. Somebody else must have cleared them out. Okay. Nope. Okay, so, boom. I think that's a screwed up gambit. That's okay. Nope. This is gonna go badly. Let's get restorative shield work going early. Okay, so we're a bit ahead of the curve in terms of morale versus morale. So let's get some bleeds going. And then if need be, I will start the cycle of heals, but it looks like we're okay at the moment. Let the bleeds continue to do a lot of the work. There we go. All right, let's see. How many woodworkers do we need? We need 2 more. Alright, let's adjust the camera a little bit there. It's still really hot on the audio. I'll be able to fix that in post, but I need to figure out why. Did something change? Did I change a setting? Okay, so let's, I'm going to put another marker here and adjust the audio in-game this time, because I don't want to do too much overall, because I want to be able to use this setting for other games. So let's bump it down to 75%. Go with there. And see how that works. Okay, I don't want to deal with another War Master, so I've done that. I do need to recover stuff from the archers. Okay, that's a little better, yeah. My gambit's not, but the audio levels are. You know, I wonder if I used to have a... I wonder if I used to have a compressor on here that I'm forgetting about. Compressor, I don't need ducking anymore, but I do want to do threshold of, say, 20. We'll start bringing that down. Maybe not quite that much, but maybe that's part of it. Okay. Now I've got a compressor on as well, so hopefully that mitigates the, mark that too, just in case I need to rebalance the audio. Still a raft I need to burn. I don't know. And I still need one more. I thought I killed it. Maybe one of them didn't have what I needed, which I think, just let me have it. But, all right, let's kill this guy, see if this solves the last thieves of Harad. All right, so now... Okay. I'm nervous it's not going to let me actually burn this raft. Like, maybe it's respawned, but it's not actually usable as far as the quest goes. Okay, so that's not usable. See if the map sort of gets us in way upstream. Okay. So I'll be curious, like, now that they've sort of tackled the UI, I mean, I would love to know, and I'm sure the answers are out there. I would love to know, like, what's, you know, content aside, what are the sort of bigger ticket items for, you know, giving the game some longer legs in the modern age? I would love to know what, I should do a little research and see, you know. Apologies for the view. I'm just trying to, there's a War Master over there or whatever. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm gonna save this, kill this guy, switch over, and now fire off the unerring strike to get the big bleed on him. Now go for the 4 gambit bleed. Go for the 3 gambit bleed. And then do some DPS attacks, and boom. Now, can I get to this raft without triggering that War Master? Because there's now 2 of them. Nice. Okay. So we've got those going on. What else do we have over here? Head to the north. I don't know, I'll be curious to hear what you guys think, you know, for anybody who watches these, you know, are you thrilled to have this UI? It did not really impact you because you're still running, you know, 1080p monitors, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Was I just hysterically overreacting? With my, you know... Why can't this be in 4K? Now, what's going on here? Search for the crossings of Arrowy for signs of the Lone Lady. Now, that was in the waterfalls, so can I get there? At least that's what she said, I think, right? It was, I saw her face in the waterfall. We're gonna have to get past him. Now, I saw the slain Haradrim. Maybe that's what we're looking at here. This Haradrim lies drowned near a pile of river stones as his brethren battle nearby. So maybe she's the one calling up the risen armor. The waters of the Arrowy churn violently as the Lone Lady appears. The Lone Lady's face flushes with anger, and she does not respond to your words. Witness the rage of the Lone Lady. You trespass as all others do. Be gone, and sully my waters no longer. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to. I mean, she's not wrong, right? Because even if I come here with good intentions, I'm going to bring with me the battles of Middle-earth. I'm too entrenched in what's going on, and so in some ways, good or bad, I am a pollutant of sorts. So let's see what this quest is. I'm sure it's going to be kill, recover armor. Oh, okay. How many? Oh, so now you're seeing one of the short. It's not big enough. Get some shield restoration going. Looks like I need 0 out of 10. Okay, so let's get this because there's some I don't need. Oh, but this is interesting. I can't. It's not letting me actually click on anything in my log. Oh, this is interesting. Is it because I don't know if the click boxes are sort of corresponding to there we go. So look how far off you have to be. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so hopefully there's a way to get that looked at, and maybe that's a known thing, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but yeah, it doesn't seem like the click boxes are lining up. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's, I mean, a little bit disappointing, but hopefully that's something that can get worked out. I need to now collect risen armor. So again, that's maybe the downside of their approach is just like, you know, if you're wondering why everything's a little blurry, it's because they're, you know, letting scaling occur, but maybe, you know, there's just something inherent to the quote-unquote objects. And again, like, I think this just came out, the time of this recording just came out a couple days ago, so I'm hoping, you know, although that feels like something, I don't know, I feel like that's like some low-level testing that, you know, like, hey, did it scale? Yes. Can I click? Yes. So it's a little disappointing in that sense. So I switched to a healing rotation because I noticed I was losing a lot of morale. Not that these guys are signatures, but they seem to be hitting harder, and also it's probably because I'm, you know, in the presence of, yeah, the troubled waters that are giving me a morale hit right off the bat. Now, is it literal? Like if yes, it's literally if I'm in the water. Okay. So let's see if that changes up how the battle goes. So let's see, like, this seems to track. That's okay. Let's see if my character... Now, yeah, this might be off as well. Now, of course, by the time, you know, between when this goes up and when... I'm playing it, you know, this won't, you know, I'm recording it, you know, like it just came out, so you can sort of date it as like, it's a little off. The hour has come for our greatest triumph. The city of stars has fallen. Our advance waits. Oh, we've already read that. Okay. Yeah, so you can see this is a little off. The quests are way more off. So yeah, you can get an idea right there. So like, yeah, okay. Just have to be careful that I actually don't like removed from tracker or anything weird. I bring up my character. That seems pretty on point. And the other reason why, like, I feel like the testing blah 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 is because, you know, I think this was on the Bull Roarer beta server, so I feel like somebody must have encountered this somehow. Or maybe I wonder... Six to 10, okay. wondering if maybe if I just lower the percentage, you know, maybe it's freaking out because I'm at like 175% on 4K, but maybe there's some combo, like if I drop it down a little bit, maybe it like realigns stuff enough. I have no idea. Obviously now is not the right time to figure it out. Risen armor. Up to 7, right? Nope, screwed that up, okay. Screwed that up. That one was lag, I think. Pull this one back a little bit just because I don't know when the marauders sort of cross the river to join fights, pick fights, I should say. And I don't want to deal with one of them at the same time. Now, I can't recall, was this quest coming from, was it Denethor's sister that, No, it's Glass Seal or something. Okay, so we need to figure out... I'm kind of curious if I could just sort of sneak my way up. How far up do I have to go? So let's take a look. Let's scale down the UI just a little bit. I dropped the chat. Did I move any of the others? I don't think so. Let's go down a couple of notches. Because my eyesight's good enough to handle 1.5. And then let's try it again. Still a little off, so that didn't necessarily move the needle, but that's okay. All right.
What strange darkness covers the sky?
All right, you're no south around. Collect potato sacks. I guess she's gotten attacked, maybe? Jumped by marauders on the road.
This morning to no sun, no
all
light
right.
today.
The Arnott Guard should thank you too, but not that they're here protecting me. Okay, so yeah, guards are staying a little close, keeping it a little close to the vest. They should be out here doing a little bit more probably for the people on the road. Yeah, let's see if we can swing up to... What I was looking for is, where is, kind of looking for the book quest. Can't get that to show up. Okay. Okay, so this might actually turn into a bit of a thing. Got the store. Let's open up the store, because that was one thing that was hard to see. Got 10,000 Lotro points. One thing that I like to dump that into is none of this stuff, but Mithril. Let's see if there's any sales on that. Doesn't seem to be. Let's pick up another 2,000. 250 for 2,000 coins, because I'm going to use them at some point. So I can tell that it went through, because I'm down 8,000, but it seems to be spinning still. There we go. So here's the deal. For some reason, I thought the quest... I thought the book quest involved something here. There's also find the shaded path. What is that? That's the sights of Gondor. Okay, so that's all up there. Let's head in here. I don't know if I opened up the I don't know if I opened up the stable master here, so just in case I haven't, let's do that. And then we'll go hand in a bunch of these quests. See if we can figure something out. You know, if I could just sort of gauge, like, okay, it's just, you know, up and to the right a little bit, I can figure that out. But if it's not quite consistent. Or Halak. Yeah, that's going to get tricky. Can I get to Halak?
May I help you, friend?
I don't think they had a... Yeah, I don't think they had a thing. So let's start fast traveling back. I've got 1,000. Okay. Okay, handing in...
Is a weight on my mind. This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Decline? Decline? Or is it not letting... Okay, so it's not... Okay, you've been summoned to Eastern Gondor. What is that? It's not a book quest, but if Aragorn picks up... Lothiriel about Central Gondor. Again, these are all... I'm gonna just take them because I don't quite know what I'm doing. But at the same time now I can't get them off my docket. This is the woman who I think... The lone lady, yeah.
Corsairs, strange armies, now darkened skies. Corsairs, strange armies, now darkened skies.
Seek the Maiden of
What has become of
Cirith.
our lords in the east, I
Salos
wonder?
Cerny, okay. So I dinged 100. Again, for many Lord of the Rings Online players, that might not be a big deal, but for somebody who, again, was stuck at 86 or something for the longest time, and someone who was stuck at 50-something for the longest time,
these days.
I've said it before, I'm very grateful to this stream for getting me back into pushing through the barriers and seeing what was beyond the middle areas of Rohan. Because it's been fantastic. So I can, oh, where's, yeah, I mean, Aragorn's just back here at his camp, maybe, and, okay, so I'm sort of heading that way anyway. You know what, I'm just gonna do it. Let's see what these are about. We can delay no longer. My friend, my men, and I must make our way to the east to the aid of Minas Tirith. Aragorn's voice suddenly grows quiet. Many of our number shall sail upon the ships that survived the battle for Pelargir, but none are to know this. You must swear to me that you shall tell none of our passing upriver. Too late. Lord Angbor shall travel overland, and I would ask that you join his host as he passes through Upper Lebanon and Losanark. Meet him and his men in Pelargir near Easternmost Gate. Okay, so we're sort of already doing that. So I'm kind of curious, now where does that... Did that just reposition him? Okay, so that seems to be working. I can click where I need to click there. Like, how do I add to tracker? Okay, there we go. Let's see. Almost. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there's Eastern Gondor, okay. Alright, let's bring up the map. This is what I was, Book 3, Chapter 4, where is he? Might be in the next section. Way up there, okay. Yeah, see, I was up there and I meant to, anyway. Let's, bop around a little bit. These all, I think, fired off when I was 100, leveled when I dinged 100, so let's...
Stop at the town of Ethring in the Ringlow Vale and tell them what is happening.
So I feel like these are people I was already talking to and already helping. And so maybe I got a little bit ahead of these particular introductions.
When the time comes to fight, we'll be ready.
I'm just advancing these with fast travel because I'm not 100% sure.
Dark skies and worrying times. Will we fall from the Pelennor as we fell from Osgiliath?
Okay, so I gotta be careful because this is, I'm gonna accept, nope, because I'm gonna automatically travel to the causeways. So one of these guys is gonna start sending us, yeah, I don't wanna do that. So just to get out of it, I'm gonna actually fast travel all the way up because I was there before and I was having trouble the interface, so we'll just cheat a little bit. Alright, talk to Angbor on the road south of Imloth Melui.
I did not know you traveled with Lord Angbor of Lamadan.
It is my honor to serve him in as any way as I can, and I truly hope that you have no tidings of Nethadan. that might embarrass me in the presence of my liege. Bandron is shaking with obvious terror of what you might say, and he exhales with obvious relief when you tell him that Nethedan believes Imloth Melui will be a good place to stay until the road through the Harland is open. That's my responsible boy. I've often prided myself on the example he sets for others, my Lord Angbor. Why, I think he seeks to model his behavior after your own son, Drambor. That is my Nethedan, all right. Privately, you think to yourself that perhaps both father and son have more in common than either would admit.
The wagon driver's son speaks wisdom.
Imloth Melwi is known for its healers.
And the folk here will know the value of the goods on this wagon. Choose one. Essence. Incoming healing, why not?
You should cross into Ithilien, and my men will assail Harland.
Enemy forces must have crossed the Anduin and taken the port of the Harland by surprise. They've had time enough to fortify the south gate of the Ramas against us. That makes things more difficult to be sure. Only that road can support the movement of my 4,000 men. We simply do not have the time or the resources to ferry that many warriors across the Anduin, and moving them through the forests of Ithilien in a wide sweep would be far too slow and take too much time. If we take such a course, the war will be ended before my men get there. No, they must retake the Harland, and they will need me to lead them in that effort. You, however, have another errand. Aragorn wanted you to reach either Gandalf or Faramir. You can take a single craft across the Anduin and move more swiftly than 4,000. You must pass into Ithilien and come by that way to Osgiliath. Meanwhile, my men will assail the Harland. My scouts learned that a friend to Gondor operates a secret ferry to the east, among the high reeds that border the river. Find her, and see if she'll bring you across the river into Ithilien. Okay. All right, so I think that's going to be the crossing down there. So let's head there. Deed bestow, discover, okay. So I can't tell if I should be able to tell something from the flags. Discovered Galdir's Dell. I was going to say that's probably a deed? Oh, no, it's the Beast of Gondor. Okay. All right, let's snap some femurs. Nice. The woman guardedly considers you as you approach.
You are welcome to use my boat and defeat foes in Ithilien.
Okay. It's not chance that brought you to this hidden landing place. I can see it in your eyes. You might want a little more tradecraft than that. You got the look of somebody I can trust. Okay. The currents are swift in these parts, but you're in luck. I can take you there. My name is Luntil, and I ferry provisions to the rangers that protect these lands. I admire their courage, and they are grateful for my assistance to the cause. Climb into the boat when you're ready. I have one small favor to ask. I ask nothing more in repayment. Let's see what it is.
You are welcome to use my boat and defeat foes in Ithilien.
You approach from the west. I've seen precious few foemen come that way. Most enemies to Gondor have come from the east. Why do you seek to cross the river? You tell the woman that you have important tidings of war, but have sworn to give them only to Gandalf the Wizard or Faramir of Minas Tirith. I suspected as much, and I will not ask for you to break your vow. I have not seen any wizards in these parts, and the name Gandalf is unknown to me. But Faramir has spent more time of late ranging in the woods of Ithilien than he has in the White City. You're welcome to use my boat and to have this advice. Seek for Faramir and his rangers at Bar Hurin. To the east, I ask only this. Defeat any Haradrim you encounter in Ithilien. They are a danger to my friends and my kingdom. Alright. Cross the river. Lintiel beckons you to speak with her.
You are welcome to use my boat and defeat foes in Ithilien.
Okay, now that we stand at the base of Emin Arnen, do you see the beauty of these lands? This rugged beauty is my home. My parents lived here for as long as they could, but the threat in the east grew too great and we fled to Losarnak when I was young. I vowed to do everything I could to save Ithilien so that one day my children may live here in peace. Now I ask you, protect these lands. The Rangers have a campsite, the western post, just to the north of here. Tell them I sent you to aid them. Some of the Rangers can be stubborn at times, but I know they are in need of someone like yourself. Lintiel insists that the Rangers will help provide safe travels through Ithilien. Okay, so whoa. I was going to say, where are we? Also, Minas Tirith, baby. Man. Who thought that a young buck back in the day at a level 1 would someday be circling the city walls of Minas Tirith on a mission for Aragorn? Obviously I did because I'm familiar with how games work, but you know what I mean. It's consistently that, we're a long way from home. And, the bandit leader in Archit or whatever, and all the turmoil there that led to the town being burned down. Taking the sound design a little bit. You got the music, which again I continue to appreciate, and also trying to determine what I'm hearing, like sounds in the distance. Is it it's got the vibe of lightning, but I think it's meant to imply, proximity to Mordor. And Sauron's nearing presence. Accept these real quick. I have a feeling there are things I can do while I'm here anyway. Interesting, though, we're getting a mix of the Haradrim, but half-trolls are... making their presence known. Oh. Didn't mean to do that. Shoot, okay. Nope, can't do that. Let's pop that. Okay, everything's a mess, so let's get things under control. Reset a little bit. Looks like I'm silenced. Is that the thing? Because I can't use my shout. Okay, so there's a deed for discovering the ruins. Okay, that's just a bonus, but we do need to burn... I guess destroy 6 supplies. Let's get him in the fight, see if we can do... Oop, that's not good. that. Let's do that. Now I feel like at some point we'll be back here to free Glad here, but I guess not today. Alright, did that. Let's get the supplies. You there, I could use some assistance. Yeah, let me jump in. How do I do this? Yeah, it won't let me do it. You know, now that I'm doing a little Skyrim, I do appreciate that it lets you... You know, like, the game is adaptable enough to be like, hey, you don't need to... started... Pull back a little bit because I'm a little curious what that half-troll warrior is going to do in a minute. Alright, let's get out of here. Okay, let's see if we can careful step our way past the ruins and... Okay, let's keep going up the road and find our rangers. I always enjoy the ranger camps. You know, they got the one in like Evendim, you got the one in going way back, Eriador, North Downs. Yeah, Estelden. Yeah, I'm so used to the. It's weird to see it in its proper format. I'm so used to being stretched, but yeah, Estelden, Evendim. Oh, and there it is. Huh. First view of Minas Tirith. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what's going on in there, seeing how it's depicted. given how everything else in this game's been depicted, I'm sure it's going to be really enjoyable. Because everything it's just depicted with so much care, so that, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. A Gondorian man calls your name and beckons to you. Dwelin.
My brother and I are from the Blackroot Vale, and we seek adventure.
I knew it was you the moment you came into this place. The Rangers of Ithilien have been watching your progress through the woods, speaking of your deeds, and my brother and I have been looking forward to meeting you. I am Dwelin, and this is my brother Derufin. We are no rangers. We are from Blackroot Vale, far west of here, and we were marched to Minas Tirith with our father when the beacons were lit. And then, nothing. Sitting in idleness while excitement happens everywhere has never been to either of our tastes, so we escaped from the White City and crossed the river in secret. Now we seek adventure. Take critical rating, why not?
We will be the first to fell one of the mighty Mumakil.
The people of the Blackroot Vale know of our grand adventures throughout the wild and certainly speak of the ferocious creatures we have hunted. They will be as nothing compared to the prey we now seek, the mighty Mumakil. The Rangers have seen these great beasts in the service of the Haradrim of the South, but so far none have felled even a single Mumak. My brother and I will be the first to do so, and we would be honored for you to accompany us on the hunt. You tell Dwelin that you are looking for Faramir and cannot delay on that errand. He's not here, but if you help us hunt the mighty Mumakil, you have my word that the Sons of Blackroot will help you find him. Speak to me when you are ready to depart. Okay, so there's that, but while we're here, what else do they have going on here? So, to the north, there's going to be, basically that's what I'm looking for. It's some shops to repair. Since I dinged level 100, I don't know if, I'll have the opportunity to reforge my weapon. I think I've stepped out of the camp, though. I got some local quests. Let's see what's going on here. Something must be done about these roving threats. Nope. Those are just going to be, probably daily sort of,
These are troublesome times indeed.
They tend to be like small fellowship. That's partly why. And also, I don't need to go collect bounties. I've got other things I could be doing. So now that I'm 100, I need to go look at all the equipment that I was not able to use before and just make sure. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at the equipment, character. What do we got? What are these? Extraordinary experience. Let's not worry about that. Is this something we need keys for? So, let's dump that. Dump that. Dump one of those. Okay, so now let's look at this. We've got a bracelet. I think I'm gonna replace this for the polished bracelet of the Great Shore. So there's that. Which one's the Great Shore? Top one. Okay. All right, now let's look at this. Earrings. Vitality, evade rating. I'm going to do this for the opulent earrings of the valleys. I'd rather get more defense and more vitality than keep the critical rating. That's just how my mind works. Opulent earrings of the valleys. Which one are those? Bottom one. Okay. All right, now. Gauntlets. Nice. Let's equip these. I have to figure out how to put some essences in there to make them achieve their potential. Got to figure that out again. Leggings of the 5 rivers. Let's do that. Okay, so I think that's the sorting button, and again, that's not quite working. Now, to do essences, do I just need to add them to gauntlets? All right, sorry, right click on them. Okay, so let me just see what other essences. I wish I could sort. Okay, so that's off as well. You can sort of see. Again, I don't, I'm sure this is just some pet you can have. I don't really care. I have no idea. Okay, so anyway, so I need some essence. I don't know what these are. Runes. Okay. Enhances one of your legendary items' tracery slots. Drag this onto a tracery in the slot you wish to enhance. Okay. You know what? I just don't care. So let's see if we can at least figure out the ones for our gloves. We got a lot of finesse, mitigation, mastery, incoming healing, block, tactical mitigation. I do feel like, well, let's put some maximum morale on there. Sure. And then let's, because it's defensive, let's, physical mitigation. I thought I had a pretty high incoming healing, critical, block. Let's do one of those. And I think I have one more. Do a tactical mitigation. Now let's do a finesse. There we go. I don't think we have any other items we can drop them on. Okay. So there's that. Now, is there a forge? There we go.
Well met.
All tracery slots can now be upgraded to level 200. Okay. Can't get it to, let's try that again.
What news do you bring, traveler?
Oh, well. Okay, I guess, what are you gonna do? Let's... Hopefully I was able to do my spear at least, yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. I might not be able to... It doesn't matter too much in the end, but it is a little annoying that I can't. And rename it Javelin, so that's... Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Maybe the javelin's not up. I don't know. It seems like it was, but maybe I'm missing something. Oh yes, there's crafting. Haven't done that in about 400 years. Let's see what... okay, that's the quarter of the... Yeah, I don't need to do that. Okay, so now before, we'll get started on this, but before we do that, is there anything else in the area? Looks like we're all good. Yeah, let's just go for it.
I can hardly contain my excitement. My brother and I have sworn a solemn vow to bring down the mighty Mumakil that have come to Gondor.
All right. Let's see what's up. We should not all tramp through the wild together. Two of us would be silent enough, I expect, but my brother makes more noise in the brush than even the largest Mumak. This sword of mine has proven the better of every creature upon which I set my mark, and today will be no different. I'm going to bump this up a little bit. If you choose to hunt with me, we will travel up the slope to the north for a better view, the better to surprise our prey. All right. My brother and I rarely hunt together. We find that we have much more success when tracking a foe if we travel alone. That way, if one of us frightens the beast, the other may take advantage. My chosen weapon is a longbow. My accuracy with the legendary is legendary. If you come with me, I suggest we travel eastward by the way of the road. And the long sight lines will give us advantage over raiding parties we encounter while we search for the Mumak. If you're in a fellowship, every character must choose the same brother to follow or the instance will fail. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So the question is, who do we want to go with? Do we want to go with... this guy who's going to be a little more stealthy up the hill? Or him right down the road? I'm going to go with him. Very well, may the best of us win. Well chosen, this way. Darafin was wise to leave the road to the two of us. Haradrim approach. Alright, the Haradrim may have been the advanced guard for a Mumak. Getting a little bit of lag. Let's move off the road and see if we can overhear their talk. How long must we fight alongside orcs? I don't trust their kind. I heard they are led by wraiths, dead kings untaken by death. The rewards will be great. You must have patience. How long must we wait? These Nazgul have the stink of death on them. And as for the Gothmog, enough of this talking. Let us quiet their ramblings. Bows! You've not found a Mumek yet? What about you, Black Lodge? I encountered a number of orcs ranging through the forested hills of this land, but I caught no sign of any Mumakil. How can such a large beast evade us? And yet, I feel the earth tremble. Do you feel that? Can it be? Something approaches. Do you feel the earth shake?
Mumak!
Oh. Swords at the ready. I don't know how we're supposed to do that. There's more than one. Run! Yeah, I was going to say. Now, if you had a fellowship, could you have taken one down? 181,000. Completed instance, son of the whatever.
Next time we will have one for sure.
What a delight. Did you see the size of those Mumakil? They were even larger than I expected and twice as ferocious. I'm still winded from their pursuit, and I could not be happier about it. Dweelin's eyes are bright and words tumble from him in an excited torrent. Next time we'll have one for sure. Their hides are thick, but seeing them up close has shown me where to aim. Their eyes. That's the only unprotected spot. I see that now. Oh, what a prize this will be. And certainly it will be pleasant to deprive the Haradrim of such a mighty beast of war. But think of the tales they will sing of my brother and me, and you too. But for now, we are to help you with an errand of your own, I suppose. I'm going to take Might.
My brother and I will go with you to Osgiliath to seek Faramir.
The men here think Faramir can be found to the north, somewhere in the city of Osgiliath, astride the Anduin. The steward of Gondor charged his son with the defense of Osgiliath, but none here know if he has repelled the enemy. Some speak of a hidden encampment within the culverts beneath the city. If Faramir or his men still defend the city, that's where they'll be. My brother and I will go with you to Osgiliath. There are certain to be more than enough orcs for the both of us to hone our skills in battle. Alright. So now we can make our way. Look at that. I was wondering what that little bar was. I'm looking at it and I'm like, why is there a little bar on the map? And that's because now you can just do that. Oh, that is wonderful. Now what happens if I... Oh, that's awesome. That is really awesome. There's something nice about it being full screen, but I really appreciate that. Alright, so now we're going to head to the north. Speak to a ranger at the nearby campsite. Yeah, let's make our way up there. I'm really excited to see, again, places I've read about and watched. Let me see if anything's changed. I just want to try one more time. Yeah, I don't know. How about the... That's a little better, right? So, okay, I wonder... Well, okay, so a little bit of how the sausage gets made. During that break, I needed to restart the game. And by break, I mean right before I... Right before we started that instance, I, through the magic of post-production, had to step away from the computer for a little bit and insert a little break, and I had to restart Lotro. Now, it doesn't seem to have fixed the forge, but it does seem to have helped a little bit with the quest. Now, the other thing is, during that break, I was like, oh, let me just report on the forums what's occurring, and I don't think I'm the only one who is having some of these issues. Other people mentioned, like, hey, you know, where I'm clicking doesn't seem to be lining up with where the mouse is pointed, blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like, you know, hopefully, I think it's Standing Stone Games. Hopefully, you know, they're aware of it. They'll be on it. It's all good. I am, again, I was saying like, oh, it's a little disappointing. How did that slip by? Maybe it didn't. I don't know. But I'm not gonna be like F this. I appreciate that the game again is almost 20 years old. It might not have like the full force of a huge development team behind it, so I'm very cognizant of the situation that might be behind how these developments work and how the updates get implemented, and I'm happy that progress has been made, because this has been good so far. I think some people mentioned like clicking on the map didn't quite work the way they thought, like that's okay. North Ithilien. What I'm trying to see is what's in southern Gondor. Can I get there? Actually, no. Maybe, I don't know. Eastern Gondor. Maybe there's no southern Gondor. At the moment, maybe. Central, I've been there. Western, Central. Harad, oh. Umbar, okay, nice. Huh. Again, I know one of the expansions is called Umbar. I'm just kind of curious. Okay, we got Haradrim all over the place here. Again, game continues to impress, continues to look great. We're going to take the road to the left, so we can head north into Osgiliath. I guess the road south would take us to southern Gondor. Okay, it looks like there's a stable master here. I don't know if Osgiliath itself is going to have that since it's contested. Almost about to say it's a little Trollshawsy in the vibe, but definitely not as dense. Trollshaws is an area, again, I think I said this when I was actually in the Trollshaws. Some parts of it are annoying to navigate, but it was a place that I skipped for a while because there was, much earlier in this game's life, I thought there was a memory leak or something in the Trollshaws that eventually would lead to crashing your game, so as an area I just tended to skip it, because I didn't want to risk that. Now, definitely with the 64-bit client and stuff like that, on this run with this warden, I spent more time in the Trollshaws, had no problems. I'm getting sort of similar vibes. It's not quite as, obviously it's not quite as dense, and it's starting to thin out a little bit, much more mountainous, but there is some pretty steep terrain in the Trollshaws, and it gets a little, that's the part that gets a little annoying. If you get to the furthest northernmost parts of that map, there's like gullies through some really steep hillsides, and it turns into a bit of a maze. Man, but this is beautiful. This is really... Oh, something's going on over there. Let's stop for a second. Let me check the map. Yeah, it's up here to the right. I don't know what that is. But it's got that ominous green glow going on in the windows that leads me to believe that... Again, it's a little reminiscent of... Karn Doom. You know, some of the structures in that area had sort of like an ominous green glow. they were much bigger, and there were more of them. So I'm going to assume we're going to be coming up to like sort of an outpost or an encampment behind the front lines. Nice. Faramir's Lookout.
How may I help you, friend?
No southern Gondor on the map there, on the list. Explorer of eastern Gondor. We've got a Forge Master. Maybe...
I greet you, friend.
Nope, still nothing. I feel like that button should be clickable. And it's just not letting me do it. And that's okay for now. We'll figure it out. Still trying to make our way, though, into... Okay, so we've got this Stable Master. So we can fast travel here now. What do we got? We're going to have some deeds. Oh, we completed them. 6. Okay. Wasn't even aware I was doing it. The Black Lodge is Strong-Willed. A new title if we want it. This is going to be Exploring Eastern Gondor. And some more points, of course. Wow. Okay, the crossroads. We've got a warband to our right. Go to North Ithilien to the... Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so a piece of siege equipment. I'm going to click on it just to see. Let's see what this quest is. Destroy the ballistae, catapults, and trebuchets. Let's accept it. We're right here anyway. Signature enemy, so I'm going to see if I can sort of circle around and not get spotted. Okay, got to keep an eye out for those. All right. Now entering Osgiliath. Nice. So I always sort of saw Osgiliath, not to get all history nerdy, but sort of like Bastogne in World War II, where, you know, the good guys are potentially surrounded, but managing, despite the odds, to hold down the fort. And by jamming up and not giving up ground, the enemy can't move forward confidently. So they're sort of like stuck at an impasse. Like until we dislodge these guys, we're going to be jammed up. It's not that we aren't more overwhelming in numbers, but it's just we can't risk having this, you know, in our in the background. You know, while we're trying to do this, we can't have these guys being able to, like, we need to dislodge them in order to accomplish the mission. This guy's a signature. Okay, this is gonna get ugly fast. Start doing this, and then start seeing what we can do. Okay, totally wrong gambit. Start over. Clear the status effects. Let's see what we can do. We can get some bleeds going. Got some bleeds going. So now I'm going to do some heals, some cycles of that. Bit of a hairy situation, but we managed to get through it. I don't want to... I'm going to go the long way. See if I can circle around back up by the path with the hopes that maybe there's some catapult or something on the other side I can destroy. So, yeah, anyway, that's sort of how I always pictured Osgiliath, was like the U.S. Airborne holding on to Bastogne, creating like a huge thorn in Germany's attempts to advance through the Ardennes forest. Game's getting better about not letting me kill the same things over and over. Trying to find a way through. Do I just, let's try it. Nope. I missed my burglar, I will say that. catapults are dealt with. I don't think I've seen more trebuchets, and I don't think I've seen any ballistae. There's just no good way to do this. All right. Gates of the Moon. Okay, can I, So it's got a circle like it'll start a quest. I assume if you could bring one of those down. So it's got 173,000, but is there something to the weak spot of the eyes? I'm gonna go for it. Interesting. Okay, so that's not the right way in. Apparently. All right, so now the question is, how do we get into Osgiliath? Can I zoom in? Trying to get there. Now that's the main thing, but I'm seeing something there. So let's give that a shot. I predict some femur snapping at some point. Or death. Nope, just femur snapping. Shit. Okay. Maybe I needed to... Not sure. Let's see if there's anything in the quest. Faramir, and maybe found in the culverts beneath the city. I love that they gave wardens that ability. They didn't have to, but it really fits in my mind. Not that I understood what a warden would be before I played one in Lord of the Rings, but now that I've played one here in Lord of the Rings Online, it really, really fits with how I picture myself playing. And pictures what I imagine a warden to be now that I've... You know, they can stand in the front lines if they have to, but I've always felt they're such a utility player, right? They can tank, they can do self-heals, you know, whatever the job that needs to be done is, they can do it. And so having just a little burst of sneaking... Ooh, that's a change in... Okay, so what I'm curious is there a way... There might not be. I was curious if there was a way to get to Osgiliath around from the north, but what are we looking at? 105, so it's not crazy. Yeah, but given what I'm seeing, I don't think I'm meant to be here yet. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So I'm you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm jamming stuff up here. I'm clearly not meant to be here yet, so let's head back. I'm gonna take this. Don't think I'm ready for it. Don't think I'm supposed to be doing it. Okay, I'm a little nervous that I just screwed everything up. Okay, so let me head south. My hope is that there's another transition. shit. This is not where the transition was before. Okay, everything looks like it's gone to crap again, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. Let me head back to this camp, and maybe there's like a path from there that would help guide me. I just hopped back on the road. Maybe I was too presumptive.
How may I help you, friend?
Okay, nothing there. Now, plan B was to see if I could swim up the river, but let's see if they've blocked that off as well. And if that's the case, I might have to actually Google, like, what am I missing? Yep, okay, so we're blocked off here. And I might actually be jammed up now. Okay, let me Google real quickly. How do I get into Osgiliath? Pull it up on my phone. How to... what is this? Book 3, Chapter 7. Let me just try that. Lotro Volume 4, Book 3... Chapter 7. Okay. Osgiliath Overrun. Dulin is at Bar Harin in South Ilion. The entrance to Osgiliath culverts can be reached from the eastern end of the Great Bridge. Where's the Great Bridge? Great Bridge is right there, so that's already in. Is that a way in right there? That looks blocked off, but maybe that's the way in? Okay, let's try that. I mean, again, it makes sense that you wouldn't just walk in the front door of a besieged city, so I respect that. Maybe. Okay. The next one feels like it'd be easier, though, so let me keep skirting the city walls. See if there's another breach. Okay, here we go. This is definitely... Trying to stealth mission my way through this. I don't know if that's possible. Alright, see if the patrolling pattern has him turn around and go the other way. That looks like the Great Bridge just on the other side there, so let me see if I can skirt by. Oof, alright. Made it to the culverts under Osgiliath. Okay, mustering horn. You found the city's defenders, but Faramir's not with them. Got another player, level 109 warden, fellow warden. Sir, welcome. Always happy to see you. Let's see what Damrod has to say. Book 3, Chapter 7, Osgiliath Overrun.
I gladly welcome your help, even as I fear it comes too late.
The city is lost. There are too many orcs, and every passing hour brings more of their kind, as well as ferocious warriors from the south. I do not hope to save the city, Warden. Now my hope is to purchase as much time for the defenders of Minas Tirith as I am able. Osgiliath will not be retaken, will not be retaken. But until we are slain, we might show... Oh, I see. They're saying the good guys won't retake it. Okay. Osgiliath will not be retaken, but until we are slain, we might slow the forward march of those foes with our efforts. Faramir is in charge of the defense, but we were separated during the fighting and no man has seen him. When I last saw my captain, he was fighting by the southwest wall of Osgiliath in the company of Doughty warriors Inthal and Gelnor. You can find one of them. They may have tidings. Do what you can to slow the enemy's march and to find Faramir.
The Rangers will not surrender Osgiliath.
With or without Lord Faramir, we can delay no longer, my friend. I fear Osgiliath may be lost. My men and I are in talks of retreating. Damrod is elected to lead us through the city, as he knows Osgiliath better than I. Speak with him if you wish to assist us, okay? Search for Mablung's Rangers. Okay, I'll just pick that up just in case.
We need your help if we are to fight the enemy.
I'm glad you've come. The enemy has overtaken Osgiliath, and now they march towards Ramas. We could use one of your skills. Okay, I'm just taking those, but, okay, we're gonna hold off on that, so this is where we're gonna pick up the next book, but we're not quite there yet. I don't think, right? We still have Book 3, Chapter 7, okay. Okay, so Book 3, Chapter 7 is defeat orcs throughout Osgiliath, search the southwestern... Okay, so we gotta get back up top. And,
Well met.
alright, let's get back out there and let's get in the fight. Okay, we have to kill 10 orcs. I'm sure that's gonna... These... That wouldn't count, but would they count? Yes. little bit of lag there, okay. So I think one of the things I'm supposed to search for, I'm wondering if they're just on... Like if I have to cut through here. Get to the other side. Probably a signature? Okay. And it's not going to count, so I don't want to tangle with that. Trolls are not the same as the orcs. Let's take these two out. Okay, so that's sort of one theory is like, was, there's like scavenging rats and stuff like that. They're there, but will they attack unprovoked? I don't do any AoEs, am I good, basically? Alright, what does he got going on? Search for Ekil in the High Archives.
The Morgul host must be defeated.
Okay, I can return, but I have not finished collecting our writings. Can you recover those? Now again, on paper you might be saying, like, why are you worried about books? But remember, in this, and something I've said over and over, something I really love about the lore here is that words, knowledge, it all has power. Easterling warrior. Have we encountered those before? was hoping I got that heal gambit off, but I did not. Okay. Okay, some lag. Yeah, did he make his way out? Did we... Okay, he's just outside the archives. Yeah. Okay, we've done a great service by saving these quests of Osgiliath. Nice. All right. Okay, so we did that, but we still need to make our way south. Let's pop these two. Alright, so maybe they, you look at the rat, it's still got 7,700 morale, so it's no slouch. Ooh. Alright. Getting close. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can sneak by the... Will I get it off before this guy gets close enough? Nope. Okay. Okay, so I guess I killed 50, so now we're on to the 100 maybe? Or maybe not. A Gondorian soldier clutches at his wounds and beckons to you. Damrod's
Captain
wounded man.
Faramir is not here. He was pursued by terrible apparition.
Alright, the pain is still overwhelming, but I feel, you're a friend? I am Inthal, soldier of Gondor. The pain is still overwhelming, but I feel it less keenly to know there are still good folk fighting to defend the city. Captain Faramir's not here, friend. He went north with Gelnor, but they were pursued by a terrible apparition, and I do not know what became of them. It was a man, I think, but tall and clad in armor. In all armor. My blood ran cold at the sight of him. The orcs followed his commands, and they named him Gothunog. I would never question Faramir's courage or his resolve, but I hope for his sake and for Gondor's that he remained 2 steps ahead of this terrible commander. Alright, so we gotta defeat another 8. Oof, can we just... get through the gate and past this group before my stealth wears off? It seems like it. Okay.
He's crawling with foes.
Found 2 of the rangers. What does he have for me to do? Collect barrels of weapons at the ruined armory.
We must protect Gondor at all costs.
Control the Great Bridge. Okay, the question is, where's the armory? I mean, we're sort of there, right? So I feel like I'm in the I feel like I'm in the armory. Ish. So I took a step back just to pull that archer into the AoE and to get the health buff from it. Okay, so I'm gonna fast travel this one just so I don't have to work my way through.
The Rangers will not surrender Osgiliath.
Okay, so now I gotta make my way north. Nope, didn't make it. Nope, still didn't make it. This is not going to go well. Let's flee. This is going to go even worse. Discover the Palace of Eldakar. Ooh, all right. A little harrowing, but made it. I don't know if this is actually where I'm supposed to be going. Oop, getting a lot of lag all of a sudden. Let's head back out. Hopefully that somehow resets it, or maybe the enemies are gone or lost track of me. And let's get a... Okay, so we're a little too far north. Injured defender, okay. You have found Gelnor, but he's alone. There's no sign of Faramir.
Many of the Orcish forces, led by a terrible man, clad all in armor. He is Gothmog.
Okay, you there. You're a friend, I can tell from your dress and bearing. You are here to help me. Oh, you have to help me. I was separated from Faramir and I sustained this injury and it keeps me from doing something that I must. Many of the Orcish forces are led by a terrible man clad in all armor. His name is Gothmog, and they cower at his approach, but they follow his commands. Runners bring messages from him throughout the city, and I saw one of those runners perish beneath many falling stones near a fountain to the east. I was injured before I could dig through the rubble to find the orders. I've overheard the orcs speaking of a mighty weapon they plan to use against the White City. Go to the fountain and search through the stones for the dead message bearer. The message he carries might give us knowledge of this weapon. Okay, before I go running off, I was about to take off and then I gotta see where I'm going. I want to go east. Okay, so we want to go east. I'm assuming these are going to be two more or that might be where turning in the book quest. That might be one more ranger. Probably a ranger there. So let's make our way to the east. Again, see if we can cut over with. I think I might need to go south a little bit. And then, I don't know if I can go straight east, can I? Or is this going to be a dead end? Oh, no, there's something over there, okay. Okay, now, I guess I have to go south at some point. Sort of worked out. I was trying to end around this group. I knew I was probably the archer with his patrol pattern gave me a window here where luckily he got far enough away. Now, at some point I have to go south. And this might be the time to do it. Now, can I... A little lag there. The question is, how many of these guys do you think I can sneak by? That wasn't bad, honestly. Yeah, again, I wish there was a way, like, they just put the ring for the quest over it. Like, if I see the captured ranger, I'm gonna help him, right? So, like, feels like if there was a way to do that as, like, one of the dynamic missions, like when you kill a boar and all of a sudden it says, please go kill 10 more. Okay, so I gotta dig through the rubble. Okay, you dig through the rubble but find nothing of use. Nothing of use. Nothing of use. I already did this one, didn't I? You find a parchment clutched in a dead hand, buried under the stones. Okay, so I'm not that far from this ranger. Can I get to him? Okay, lost but not forgotten. Let's advance that.
Fellow rangers. What news have you?
Okay, free imprisoned rangers. Okay, so I'm glad we were able to take that quest on pretty quickly, because, yeah, the idea of leaving fellow rangers to rot there does not sit well. How many do we have to, 8. Okay. Okay, this guy's a signature. Alright, this is going to prove tricky. I don't think I can get around this guy. Alright, so let's deal with him. Nope. Screwed up my gambit. Interrupting. Let's get this back on track. Okay, 5 of 8. Let's keep going around the horn. Although I do feel like we already did this guy up here on the... So the arrow's pointing me down either side of... No, but that's travel to the mines of... No, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, it's pointing me to the southwest. You're like, oh. Alright, let's keep making our way to the southwest part of the plaza, and, ooh, theater of... Alright, let's get this going. Weak sauce start, but see if we can recover. Okay. How many more do we need? We need to rescue 3 more. I see them down in the pit. Now the question is, how do I get out of the pit? There we go. Oh, I gotta be careful. Okay, I'm gonna do this, because this is gonna get ugly. So I was saying I need to be careful because this does an AoE, and if there's somebody like standing, walking by at the top of the stairs, I might pull them in. It might be what happened with the Urkai warrior, but maybe that was just random patterns. You know what I was saying earlier about how I liked the ability to sneak with a warden because I felt like, you know, the warden's a Swiss Army knife, and this was sort of that feeling. Like I'm stealthing in, infiltrating, bringing the prisoners. Things start to go bad, so I have to, you know, I have to suddenly take on like 6 guys. So I have to go from stealth to taking on a mob, then, you know, making sure I stay alive. It's not through like brute force or flashiness. It's just, you know, grit it out, and I've got the skill set to do it. That's just why I love wardens so much. Alright, let me switch to some healing here. I'm not paying attention. I'm here with some lag, but that's not to blame for why I was suddenly watching my morale drop a little too low for comfort. And I gotta say, I might cheap out on this one and throw a coin, fast travel when I'm done. So I was about to say, this would be an interesting quest with the burglar, but at the same time, like, well, I was gonna say, but what would I have done when I got jumped by the mob? What I would have done is I would have, like, vanished in plain sight and tried to regroup. I wouldn't have had to take them on toe-to-toe like that. And I could have, like, done, like, an opening stealth on this half-troll executioner that would have, sent shockwaves through Middle-earth. Some sort of shield on, because I'm getting close to dying. I gotta say, I love that this is... let me rephrase that. I love the idea that these rangers were captured in a pit for entertainment. Not that I love the idea of prisoners being treated that way, but the idea of like, the final part of this mission isn't just to go free them around the plaza. It's to figure out how am I going to get in here? And then how am I going to, work my way down? How am I going to survive this and get it accomplished?
This better be important. I am quite busy. I only
Okay,
trust
search
my
for the
fellow
lost ranger
rangers.
outside the Palace of Eldakar. Is that the different quest? Well, they added one. Yeah, these two are gonna have to be dealt with. Nope, just screwed that up. It's okay. Yeah, I need to hook to the left. Let's see how far we can get with my careful step. Serving well last time. I'm a little nervous about the rune crawler. Can animals sense things? You have not found the ranger, but the air grows heavy and dreadful near the palace. You see the crumpled body of a man in the distance. Slain Ranger of Ithilien, that's not good. Strange wound marks the man's lifeless body, and a blunted Morgul blade lies nearby. Also not good. So I can't tell. Does that do it? Okay, so yeah, here's the one. Okay, let's fast travel back.
What news have you?
Okay, should have known better than to tread so close to enemy holdings. Do not think me a callous man. It's hard to muster such a much feeling after seeing so many of one's friends murdered by these vile wraiths. Okay, so what do we got left? We've got, gotta bring the orc message back. There's one more ranger. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna fast travel back for the book quest.
I cannot read much of this message, but I know it means trouble.
All right, Damrod takes the parchment from you and reads the crude writing. And as he just said, I cannot read much of this message, but I can understand enough of it to know it means trouble. Oh, select one. Let's destroy that. I don't care. Okay, so one thing I gotta figure out.
Well met.
Let's repair, let's sell. I think what I gotta get rid of these statues. The house stuff is kind of fun, except I'm not good at it and I find it clumsy. Partly because maybe I'm not good at it, but it's taking up too much space. But I don't want to stop and go back. I think I'm paid up on my rent, so that's partly why maybe I don't think of it. Okay, so one of the things I have, so I'm selling stuff off here, but I also have in my possession this thing of like carrying crap. So the question is, how do I, like I can make it automatically gather. But mostly, how do I just, is there a way to move this? Or do I have to do it one by one if I want to sell it? Can I shift or control click, alt click? No. Because it's just, again, taking up space. Although, I mean, it's not literally taking up space in the important sense, but, what the hell is this stuff? Runes. Jesus, like, I don't even know what this stuff does. But I've got a lot of them. That's the kind of stuff. That's a map carrying case. I wish there was a carrying case map, junk, task item. What's junk? Again, these are nice additions. I wish, maybe I'm missing. I wish it would show up in the store if you wanted it to.
I greet you, friend.
But I like the idea that it's like in a pinch you can, get stuff into your inventory because you just gather up the garbage that you're not really going to need for anything. Okay, and then I think I still have some... Sell that. Okay, so we're repaired. Not yet, I guess not. Okay. So we're good on that. Let's just see what these missions are.
We must protect Gondor at all costs.
Repeatable quests. I'm gonna skip that only because I find them on some level slightly less interesting. Repeatable quests are just killing and collecting, so... Okay, I feel like I'm not missing story if I skip those.
I cannot
and
read
now
much
let's
of
collect
this
our
message,
reward.
but I know it means trouble.
Okay.
Our enemies have brought a great weapon to Osgiliath, a mighty ram called Grond.
The message you recovered is addressed from Gothmog to the master of the great beasts, and it commands this master to pull this ram through the city to the west gate. We must assume the Gothmog or his superiors plan to use Grond to smash the gates of Minas Tirith. We have to stop it. If this message has not been delivered by another of Gothmog's runners, we have a brief window available to us before Grond begins to move once more. This hunter from the Blackroot Vale has been itching for a chance to prove himself. Take him, and find Grond before it leaves the city, and damage or destroys the... before it leaves the city, and damage or destroy the ram before it reaches the Pelennor. Once it leaves Osgiliath, we will not be able to halt its progress.
We will find my brother and seek this weapon together.
Alright, my brother's already searching for adventure throughout the city. We'll find him and seek this weapon together.
Our enemies have brought a great ram to the city. We must damage or destroy it.
Alright. Okay, before we left the culverts, I asked Damrod how we will know this ram called Grond, and he responded with laughter. When I pressed him on the matter, he said, we would simply know, so it must be obvious. Let's make our way through the city and see if he speaks the truth. Let us fight through the city in search of this weapon, Grond. We must also remain alert for my brother, Dwelin, for he too hunts within the city. Come, it is the time for courageous deeds. Time to be big damn heroes, orcs ahead, let none escape. And again, what I was saying earlier about how I always kind of pictured this Osgiliath stuff like Bastogne, like this is why you can't, even though you got him outnumbered, even though you got him surrounded, even though in theory you should be able to just do as you please and go around and do whatever you want, you can't, because you have enough interference in your backfield that they can take a shot at your super weapon that you need to break through the gates of Minas Tirith. Where are all the orcs? There should be more foes here than this. It would just get a little, dread. Feeling of dread falls upon you and hazy images swim before your eyes. There are so many camps and the smell of roasting meat is still on the air. Where did the orcs go and for what purpose? Am I supposed to keep going? He's not moving, that's why I wasn't sure. Perhaps they've been roused by their masters for some offensive? Black Lodge, what's wrong? You don't look... Oh, you look quite unwell. You ask Derefin what he makes of the ghostly images and the feeling of dread that accompanied them, and he looks at you with confusion. I do not know of what you speak, friend. I see nothing but an absence of orc and the crumbling ruins of the once proud Osgiliath. You say that you saw more than that? Do you see it still? What's going on here? Should we continue our search? Yes, we must. Grond awaits. Ooh, that was the woman that... There's an orc patrol. Cast aside your feelings of unease. And dispatch them. So yeah, I'm seeing that symbol on the ground. So yeah, that looked like... the woman looked like a callback to the prisoner. The daughter of the person that, who decided to just imprison forever instead of dealing with her. But it's been a while since that right, Black Lodge, get your head back in the game, man. They need you. Black Lodge, are you well? So I think that's who the apparition of the woman is. I can tell by your face that something has you in its grip, and it is frustrating to see you experience this devilry and be unable to help in any way. All I can say to you is to master your eyes and distrust even convincing visions of horror, for they surely seek to lead you astray. Dwayne and I grew up in the Blackroot Vale, and we are no strangers to feelings of dread. But why do you feel this presence so keenly, and I feel nothing? The sooner we find Grond and destroy it, the sooner we will leave this place. If you are well enough to continue, you should search to the north, and I will search to the east. Stand strong against whatever evil you find, my friend, and know that it's better. Search to the north. I will search to the east. Fear no phantoms. Yeah, there it is again. Your eyes must be playing tricks on you. Right? I feel like that's who I'm seeing. You have found the broken body of the Ranger Guladir. As you approach the fallen ranger, your mind rebels at the thought that Guladir might have somehow gotten ahead of you and come to Osgiliath against Aragorn's command. Oh, yeah. Guladir, I think it was his daughter. How could we have come more swiftly than the Corsair ships, more swiftly than your own tread? The merest flickering doubt is enough to dispel your wandering mind, and you see now that the body lying on the cold stones of war-torn Osgiliath is not that of Guladir after all, but another soldier fallen in the defense. Oh, so my eyes are playing tricks on me. A flash of color to the northeast. Can it be? Oh, look at this. There it is. Court of Isildur. You know, all that they needed to do to break down the door was to be gigantic, but they're like, no, we're gonna make it look like the wolf on the side of a van, baby. Let's do this. We can do it proper. All right. You have found Grond, great weapon of the enemy. I feel like we can make this an 11 on the badass scale. How do we do it? Tolkien looks over to the van outside his house with a airbrushed wolf on the side. I think I got it. Okay, damage the great ram of Grond. Grond, resist your efforts, but you do not give up. And that's the thing, you know, with these types of efforts, you know, like every little bit, you know, to quote The Wire, as I always like to do, all the pieces matter. You buy somebody 3 hours here, somebody else buys somebody 4 hours there. Next thing you know, you got half a day to get somebody to break through a gap and, you know, provide reinforcements at the nick of time. You know, like all the pieces matter. I stand in awe of your deeds, Black Lodge. You have managed to inflict some damage on the great weapon of the enemy. It seems clear that the destruction of Grond itself is beyond our means, but you've inflicted enough damage to the structure that bears it, and that may slow its progress towards the gates of Minas Tirith. My brother fought a number of orcs within the city, well more than we encountered. He thinks they're preparing for a renewed assault. Cannot believe the size of it. Larger than a mumak. Yeah, but it doesn't fight back. What a terrible weapon, Black Lodge. My brother and I took solemn vows when we were children to always look upon the bright side of a situation, but I must tell you that I'm finding it difficult to maintain this outlook while confronted with the terrible Grond. And yet, you managed to disable it, at least for a time. Even a weapon as frightful as this can be slowed. Hope springs in my breast even as I worry, and the worry passes. Uh-oh. Gothmog. Black Lodge. Many days have passed since I last saw you. Many leagues have you traveled. We are both changed. Can you feel it? Once I was Mordorith, steward of Angmar, but I was undone by trickery. The elf Lairdin is slain, and the daughter? The daughter is not worthy of mention. I fell into the void, but my master pulled me back. The blade was the key, Black Lodge. This Dunedain, who first wounded me, lives still, drowning his sorrows in the north. While he lives, I cannot die. Interesting. Do you think he felt my return? Does hated Gullidir feel my presence even now? Do you think my anger haunts him still in the northern lands? It matters not. The Dark Lord has given me a new form, a stronger form. I am Gothmog, the Dread Terror, and Minas Tirith shall crumble before me. Durfin, let's get out of here. Run! Ooh.
You look as if you've seen a ghost.
And if that terrible apparition's words are to be believed, mayhap you have. Is it true? Was this creature spared death? How can we hope to fight against such foes, even if a true strike with a keen blade cannot cure them of this existence? You ask Derifin that he not tell anyone of Gothmog's words, and he nods his assent, if reluctantly. I suppose that's for the best, but I do not like it. The armies we face are led by creatures that cannot die. How long must we be expected to fight? How long must we stand? I hope you understand that I'm not afraid, but my brother is not as brave as I am, and I fear that he will not be willing to go on endlessly without victory.
You damaged the great ram. Why then do you bear such a stricken expression?
Derifin tells me that you were able to do some damage to the great ram, and it will be some time before Gron can be used against Minas Tirith. Why then has the color drained from your face, and why do you bear that stricken expression? The thought of telling Damrod the truth weighs heavily upon you, but you know that the soldier already struggles on with very little hope. To tell him that the leaders of the enemy's armies cannot be defeated in battle, and that death holds no permanence for such creatures of evil, would dash away any of his hopes that remain. Cheer up, Black Lodge. Your efforts have brought the defenders of Minas Tirith some time. Bought the defenders of Minas Tirith some time, and those extra hours, however brief, might prove the difference. Evil cannot fight forever. Faramir will be found, and our battles will be won. Get some rest if you can. Soon we will look to joining the defenders of the White City, and our battle will begin anew. But for now, you've done well. Damrod smiles heartily at you, but you think of the foe that was once Mordorith, and your heart is heavy. All right. Okay, we're starting to get more items with essences. That's good. Agility, will, might, vitality. I'm always down for vitality. Agility, vitality might be good. That'll help me with some defense. Critical hits. Might's just straight up damage. Will, maybe that would help me resist some of that dread. I don't know how important that is, but let's take might.
Will we fall from the Pelennor as we fell from Osgiliath?
Okay, you will automatically travel outside Causeway Forts. So I'm going to hold off on this. I think that's it for book Yeah, I think that's it for book 3.
Will we fall from
Yeah,
the
I think that's it.
Bellinor
Okay.
as we fell from Osgiliath?
Interestingly, I lost some of my things when I reloaded. It seems to have changed the UI settings. You know what? Let me just see something really quickly. Let me go to my log. Nope, still off. Okay. I didn't know if like the reset would matter, because you remember sometimes when you like sort of would go to an instance and come back, if you played as another character, the UI would reset, but that's okay. So it didn't remember the UI there. But anyway, you know, that's neither here nor there. I do for the most part really appreciate the UI adjustments. That's because that's something to build on, right? You know, even if it's not perfect at this exact second, 8 seconds after it came out, it's something to build on. They can tweak it, and I feel confident that, you know, they'll work out the kinks. Now, as for book 3 itself, I just want to say that was one of the most fun books I've had in a really, really long time. You know, infiltrating Osgiliath makes me feel like what I was doing in Numinos back in Evendim, what it should have felt like, and it didn't quite. But this, like, snaking through the alleys, the rubble, you know, trying to avoid encounters, even though, I mean, from a gameplay perspective, I didn't necessarily need to, but sort of playing it out in my head. Oh, this is, again, the stuff that makes Lord of the Rings Online stand out to me above the other games. Stand out above the other MMOs, definitely. It was exhilarating, I gotta say, and I don't often say that about gameplay in an MMO. So, yeah, that's it for now. We'll be back with book 4, see where that takes us. I'm really looking forward to it, obviously. You know, even if this is the high watermark of Volume 4, it's such a high watermark that whatever comes, I'm okay with. But, yeah. This is Art with Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is another part of our Lord of the Rings Online Book Quest run. We are mainly a tabletop RPG actual play podcast. If you're watching this, you found our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe if any of this is your thing. Check out the YouTube playlist to see some of the systems that we've done on the tabletop side. If you prefer audio versions of everything we do, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night, and you'll see us show up there. We have the actual plays. We've got some discussion podcasts. We've got a Discord if you want to jump in and chat about any of this stuff. Everybody's welcome. But otherwise, we'll be back with more tabletop RPG stuff, with more Lord of the Rings, Skyrim. Yeah. It's good stuff from my perspective. We are having a blast. So thank you everybody that checks us out. We really appreciate it as always. Take care.